gingerbread color. You know, he's gingerbread color. So this is part three. If y'all don't know, this is part three. He's gingerbread color. It's black suerte. Okay, well, where is he now? Does he own any land? Uh-huh. He owns half of Chata. Well, Chata is that Alabama, Mississippi? And she says, I don't know. I can't tell you because I never heard of those states. She said that. She said that. She said, I don't know. I don't know about no Mississippi, Florida, Alabama. I've never heard of those states. I just know that Chata Nation runs all together. It's in this. It's okay. This is what the senator, the questions that is being asked lets you know that we're indigenous because the questions he asked. He said, "Where's your grandfather? How come you don't know where her grandfather is at? And you supposed to be indigenous, white man?" You, I mean, if this is your Senate building, how long have you had this Senate building? Because he said in the Darus that we pushed all of the Negroes from their homes, from their indigenous homelands, in which there was over 18 black presidents already there that was being murdered and hung on trees. So our black presidents, secretaries, nurses, doctors, midwives were being hung on trees and murdered and hung on trees. And then they'll call you out in your neighborhood. Come on out and apply for your Indian status so you can claim your land of 640 acres. Come on. And then so when my grandmother came out and said, okay, yeah, they asked her the question, where's your grandfather at now? So we can kill him and take his land. This is what was going on. This is how we are forced to be paying rent, food, and water now you because you die by allowing them to go forward with what they did to us. We are allowing that to happen. And how do we allow it to happen? When I say that I had already contacted an attorney and showed him these documents and my evidence, you supposed to send him this video and say, did you check out Kathy's video? She was talking to you. Okay, so let's just say Brian Stevens. I'll give you a link to him so you can send him this video and say, can you take her case, please? Now, if you don't do that, or if you don't donate or help out, then that's why you guys are just, that's why we end up messed up, because you're sitting here looking at it as if you're not supposed to be doing something. You're supposed to be doing something about this video. You're supposed to share this video with Brian Stevens. He's the attorney. Type in Brian Stevens and type in Just Mercy. Watch that video. Watch that video. Watch the video where he talks about the little boy, the 13-year-old boy who shot the monster in his house. No, he didn't shoot a sheriff. He shot a monster. Let's get the language right when we talk. We need to talk about who's who and who's really who and be truthful about it. He was a monster. He wasn't a sheriff. But anyway, watch that video and then you'll understand why we really need to get this attorney to do a public class action lawsuit, the kind of class action lawsuit to where it's publicly run on two major network television stations, so you won't miss any news coverage or anything. And what we're doing is that we're just bringing awareness that the promised land is this way. The promised land is this way. That's what we're doing. How is the promised land this way or that way? Wherever way you want it to be in your area, because you are owed and you have. It's not that you owe, but you have it. I have it. I have 640 acres to my name. I created Jetsons, Shia and the Jetsons Community Preservation of the Promised Land for you to get your RV. Okay? Well, how are we going to get the RV? Because it's already patented that in your location there is an RV motorhome coach. An RV motorhome facility in your area. That is within the patent that we must have. So there's going to be 3 of them. So let's say there's an RV motorhome coach that stocks up 347 million RVs. That facility will be distributed out to you and your family in your area, because we have 7 of them here in California. There's 3 of them in each state that I picked out in your state, from Pennsylvania to Baltimore to Florida to Texas to Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, The lawyer is in Atlanta, Georgia, is he? No, he's in Alabama. And so there's three in his area. Okay, so his practices will be transferred. Well, he would stay there, and then he would have his practices in the Promised Land. So he will be able to transport um, his clients from any facility that he's in, that he's representing, to bring them into the Promised Land. Who's going to be taking care of those kids? The people that their family members. Their family members will be in the Promised Land, in the to care for their people, the people that are witnesses, the people in communities that care, that work as a nurse anyway, that work as a doctor anyway, that works as a mentor or a teacher anyway. They do this anyway. They just happen to be transferred over to the Promised Land. So it's no big deal. It's nothing really hard about it. We are already great people anyway. They just needs to come out of hell and into the Promised Land. That's basically what it really boils down to. It boils down to black people being becoming aware of your legacy and identity, that it's over here and not where you used to be. So if you're working for some government agency like a whatever, or if you're just working period for something and you want to get out of where you're at, I mean like literally you want to get out of where you're at and get to a place where you are doing what the traditional way of how we used to live. Remember how when we were kids, and it just seemed much more simpler when we were kids, and it wasn't too many rules or regulations on things. Well, when you get to the Promised Land, it'll be where there is no rules or regulations except for compassion, understanding, logical reasoning, happiness. You do what you want to do, boo boo. You know what you do, boo boo. You do what you've been doing. What if you were a doctor, or if you were a student, or if you weren't doing anything and you want to do something and you just go to school into the Shia facility. You already live there. You live there. You just go downstairs and you pick what subjects you want to take, and it's all different type of subject. It's about from learning how to create a real spaceship to learning how to fly, creating new suits where you can just fly because you want to fly, or shoes, different kind of or just different things, science, or if you want to learn about anything, just you just pick the if you want to learn about dance, theater, art, reading, writing, arithmetic, science, whatever you can think of, you can pick those classes, and then that way you'll learn how to do that in that community, and you would be the cultivator of that community, of the skill that you just learned in the Shia facility. So if you don't have any skills, you'll come away with several skills in the Shia facility. That's what it's about. It's a recreational learning center that you live in, and that's what it is. So when we talk about raising our vibrational energy, and oh, I'm raising my high vibrational energy, you want to raise it to a level to where you can travel to different places first. And then you can truly say, you know what, I really am really physically raising my vibrational energy, because I'm going to these places that I really want to sit on the mountaintop and raise my vibrational energy. Somewhere in Sedona, Arizona, you'll be able to travel there, because there will be a Promised Land in Sedona, Arizona, where you can sit on a mountaintop and raise your vibrational energy. But you can't raise your vibrational energy in a house when you're forced to be paying rent to, right? How are you raising your vibrational energy if you're forced to be paying rent and food and water? You can't do that. You can't. You have to raise your high vibrational energy in the places that would have high vibrational energy at. That would be connected to the ley lines, in which I patented to where of how our Jetsons will be able to be flying smoothly according to the ley lines, that's in the Jetsons. Also too, you can see how that they're gonna be. It's gonna be a Oh, and then I put a video of Angie. When you look at my when you go to my website, you can see a video about Angie. She walks you through. Um, See if you can see that. Okay, I don't want to show it right now because I have to keep telling you about how this works. Is that she walks you through what it looks like, of the RV looks like, of what it looks like in the interior. But on the outside of it, it's of our Jetsons that I patent, not hers. But in 3 years or 2 years, we will change our RVs that you get like hers into the into the bulletproof, yeah, and it'd be bulletproof too, into the submarine, the waterproof one, the waterproof Shia Jetsons. The Jetsons is waterproof and it can fly. Well, in 3 years, we'll change it into that, because right now what you're going to be getting is just a regular, a luxurious 2019 to 2022 RV motorhome coach. This is a Newmar and a King Air. It's right. So you'll be getting yours right off the bat, right away. That's see, when we do the class action lawsuit, we're talking about not suing. We're talking about showing everyone where to pick up your Jetsons RV at. We're not talking about suing. We're just showing you why we have the Shia and the Jetsons, where it's going to be at, where to pick up your Jetsons, how to log on to fill out your your applications, because you'll have an application, and I that's in the see, everything is in the patent, everything, the application that you're going to be filling out, all of that, it's all patent. See, here is the application. Let me show you the application. Here is the application. Okay, that's what you're going to be filling out. This is another page. This is a 2-page application. This is just an example. This is not, because as you see the heading, this part is going to be changed. I put Negration Legacy Protection Application. It's not even going to be Negration, because Negration means, of course it means Negro, because we are Negroes. Negroes, and also niggas, Nigias, and then Negus is niggas. Same thing. These are all both powerful, sacred black names, tribal names, real names. Okay, so when we say Negro, it is not a bad word. It is a good word, and also too, it is in your DARUs, which is very important, that the name Negro is in here, not black. Okay, so now it has black in this word, because they were referring to us of what color we are. My great grandmother says gingerbread colored people. I'm gingerbread. We're all gingerbread colored people. They say, the Senate says black. We say Negro. They say Negro too. So it's all in the like Swarte. Swarte is black. So you have to understand and speak the language that used to be spoken back then, because that's what the tribes was. We were Negroes. Niggas. Niggas is Nagas, meaning God, I am here to worship you. Please look up sacredinword.com. Sacred, and then put the letter in word.com. And then you will see and you will learn that the word nigger or Negro means God, I am here to worship you. Black means God, I'm here to worship you. Like Negro, that's what it means. So please look at Dane Calloway's new video that just came out today. Today's October. Today is November the 2nd. Today is November the 2nd. So go to Dane Calloway's new video. Here, let's see if we could see that. Let's go to, so because we want to show references that I'm not, what I'm saying is that we have to do a class action lawsuit so that everyone like Dane Calloway can bring his evidence, Kamuro can bring his evidence, and let's see Kamuro. Okay, let's see before we see Dane Calloway. Now, okay, before we go to Dane Calloway, okay. Okay, so because we have to make sure to show that I'm not just saying things to just be saying it. I'm saying it because in terms of what we can all understand as far as okay, now here is his channel, Kamuro. If you can see, it's spelled Kurimeo, and then it's AHAU. AHAU. Okay, if you could look at, okay, so watch his channel, watch all of his videos, and then you will see. Okay, so we'll just pick one. Pick one. But let's go to Abraham Lincoln, to where Benjamin Franklin are all indentured slaves. Okay, so they're all indentured slaves. All of the white people that came here are all indentured slaves to the British Crown. They came here on British slave ships. But if you can just go to his channel, but who I want you to see is really see, this is very important for you to go to his channel. You see Abraham Lincoln, he's really black. So Abraham Lincoln is actually a black man. There were 18 black presidents before there was John Henson. They hung all of the black people. Here is our great-great-grandparents right here. If you could see her. Okay, I have a best friend that her name is, she looks just like my friend Cynthia, because we were already here. See, this is the bloodline that we're already here. We've always been here. So you see, we went to war. Here is, yeah, just you could just look at this closely. I don't want to really, but we're gonna have to go with these videos here. Also, get the 432 drop. Let me see. Oh, where did he go? Okay, let me see. I want you to see the evidence here that we have here. I'm not the only one where, okay, now here is Dane Calloway. He just came out with one. Oh, here it is. You have to get his maps. Okay, he has maps. Get his maps. This is 4-3. Here's his. Okay, so the videos I'm showing you here is that I want you to look for yourself and see for yourself. Just type in these videos on YouTube. See, you have the ether packs. He has maps. These are very important.
Drop, man. I'm popping off drop deals of the week, man. Who's popping off with me, man? This is your time to take advantage. If you ain't got the ether pack 1, 2, press the packs, flat bands, this is a gift that keeps on giving. We're still making our way through this. I mean, the Ether Pack 2 got like all our drop library on it. I want to say, man, 500 books on this little flash drive. About damn near 600 books with the maps, the links. You know what I mean? The first one has all the fundamental recon, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books, maps, links, the full videos, you know, our top videos. We got our radio shows on here. I mean, so much is going on these little flash drives. There were about 16 gigs. I mean, so it's a lot going on in these ether packs. And the Prester pack is our signature pack because this is accumulation of all of our King David being in America. You know what I'm saying? Old world American drop in your Ether Gold Prester pack. It's the first 60 full videos, 2 or 3 hours a piece. So you can watch them, you can share them. And now we're on Prester John 72 on YouTube, so look out for Prester Pack 2 coming in hot. This is the first classic one, the Prester Pack Gold. You know what I mean? So if you order your Prester Pack this week, you get a free Nagaville shirt with it. You know, Aqua Chef Candy always make sure we got the best quality flow, you know, feeling good. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
now
we grooving, my Naga.
now he's talking about Naga means, niggas, Nagas, same thing, black people. We have to understand that, we're talking about indigenous. Indigenous black people, we're all indigenous here. So why are we paying rent? You understand why? Because we allow them to treat us like this. Now let's go to Dane Calloway.
To watch all of my exclusive content not featured here on my channel, log on to my website at imjustheretomakeyoutthink.com/films. I also pointed out that the incoming foreigners between the 1700s and the 1900s were considered criminals, or rather peasants, by the countries of origin they were expelled from. And the punishment was to be transported to foreign parts of the world that foreign governments somehow managed to claim ownership of by remote control. My viewers were also made aware of the details behind the third largest political party of that time, called the Native American Party, which was in fact organized for the strict purpose to serve as salvation for only particular foreigners of specific countries who believed in only particular religious choices. This was the first use of the term Native American recorded in history. They were nicknamed the Know-Nothings by the media due to not answering questions from the public about the operations and agendas of their secret societies. And notice the use of the plural form of that word, because there were more involved in which I may shed some light upon on a later date. Keep in mind that the people we see today are their offsprings, by the way, but let's not jump too far ahead just yet. Getting back to where we left off in part one of this segment, making the Indians disappear without having to actually remove them physically was done so by means of transportation. The hidden means of transportation is set to influence public perception through mandatory learning curriculums based upon the beliefs of complete strangers by way of their biased manipulative storytelling, in which these stories are conveniently created and cultivated by organizations associated with these same strangers or criminals descending from foreign countries. Just think about.
See? Now he said, now think about that. These are strangers who wrote these books and these laws and these schools and said that, well, you're this or that, you're that. It's the strangers that's doing that. That's making you pay rent. This is what he's trying to tell you. It's the senators are the strangers, the criminals, and they came here as criminals. They didn't come here as regular people. They came here as criminals. They was murdering, coming in here murdering people. They were murderers coming in here, every last one of them in different ways. So if they came over here as murdering and then we being murdered, then what do you think you got here? You have parasites running this country.
How often an individual's personal experience absorbs them into a totally different narrative from what they are familiar with. Like, for example, complete strangers that are in formation with writing fairy tales over and over again until you accept it as your factual history, propelling you into a transportation with your eyes open as you assume the characterized role of whatever the strangers presented and deem as your story. Literally.
And this is how we got in the matrix. This is the matrix right here. It's when we accepted this matrix. When we let these strangers come in here, because before the strangers, we wasn't in no matrix. There was no such thing as a matrix, and as us paying rent, and we have to. Listen, if you have to register your car, just to drive your car on the road, then you are in the matrix. They made that up. Why is it that you have to register your car just to drive your car on your street? Because they created the matrix in 1830s.
Now, we can all agree that stories have been a form of communication for centuries. And according to an article written for Oxford Research Encyclopedias, published January 25th, 2017, on the topic of transportation theory, it states, quote, oral storytelling allowed for individuals to share and pass down knowledge before written communication was widespread. And even today, stories are a central part of interpersonal and mass communication. One important function of stories is to persuade. Individuals' attitudes and beliefs can be shaped by the stories they hear. Narrative transportation refers to the experience and feeling of being so absorbed in a story that connection to the real world is lost for some time.
Because you took that blue pill. When the white man came to the black man and with these papers and this stuff, he instantly became somehow spellbound by these papers and these documents when he just should have just, I mean, damn, he had that sword. He should have used the sword.
Transported recipients may lose access to real world knowledge, making them susceptible and more likely to adapt their real world beliefs and behaviors to be more consistent with the story to which they are exposed. Transportation theory suggests several mechanisms